You're seeing some behind the scenes fourth wall stuff here, Travis.
No, I know it's a pleasure
and a curse, and maybe a curse.
Can you turn up a tiny bit, Jim?
Yeah,
look at that.
It's not very pro though. We're meant to take care of all this stuff prior, like, and then
I know.
Because now the thing is,
I just realized it.
Yeah, and then the thing is, I turn up, and the issue is, then I'm too loud on the video because you know.
Okay, well, I can do this.
You're gonna have to at this point.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do about it. People pay to
I think
watch
it's because
these professional videos now.
It's because these SM7s are kind of like low output.
Mine's going through a Neve preamp these days.
You got it cranked?
I mean, I can turn it off.
On the preload? No. I just mean, because, and then people come on with these, like, condensers and, like, Apple earbuds, and they're all cranked up. You know?
But you're kind of, you're quiet for me a little bit. Like, I would say you're the quietest. Travis, what do you think?
It's listenable.
Yeah, but who would you say is the quietest, me or Johnny?
Speak again, Johnny.
Hey, it's me, Johnny.
No, don't shout. That's cheating.
No, Johnny's
okay, I'm
clear.
talking normal. I'm talking
what about
normally.
me?
I'm talking.
You're good.
See that you sounded a little bit like. Am I too quiet?
That was pretty definitive.
No, I can hear you.
You're the quietest for me too, but this is just.
What about if I do this? Hello.
That's a lot better.
Too loud?
A lot better. Nope.
No,
perfect. Perfect.
Oh, all I can hear is myself now. So what I did there is just turn up.
So you know what you do? You turn. I do that all the time. Then I turn my headphones down. Or I turn my just volume down in my recording program.
Yeah. I just turned up my 10.
Hi, this is Johnny Payne. I'm available for all your engineering and
you're not doing yourself service here.
Recording program. No, in Logic, you just turn like the volume, like the listening.
No, I
volume
understand that, but I'm thinking of the listeners, not you.
I know.
I'm thinking of the listeners. I'm not going to let it affect my performance. I'm thinking of the listeners, not the listeners to the audio, because I compress us all together, compressor head. Like the
video people.
It's the video people because there's nothing I can do to this audio.
Yeah.
So, now we're going to hear this. It's going to be all over the Discord again. Now,
I was thinking just of your headphone mix, James, because I'm more of a producer. That's where I was going with it. I wanted you to be feeling good in your own cans.
I feel terrible.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
but no, you're right. So now I'm going to turn myself down.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So now it's great.
There you go. Beautiful.
Everyone sounds
nice. Perfect. Yeah. That sounds good, actually. You're a bit warmer now.
Shouldn't have changed what you heard. Well, the Neve's helping.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Obviously, you can tell.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you didn't have to tell me that.
You knew it was going to just hear that? That's what it was going through? You could just hear it?
Yeah. I mean, I've listened to music before. I know what a Neve preamp sounds like.
Well, look, we're due to do it slightly differently now because we're trying to kind of like slightly tweak and professionalize our podcast. So you're listening to An Impossible Way of Life. It's a twice weekly classic rock / food podcast. Or it's more of a foodie Instagram. And we're right in the middle of a World Guitar Championship. We're trying to figure out once and for all, maybe the oldest question in the universe. Who is the greatest guitarist? And unfortunately, in the last 16, even though it would be hard to believe that people with the sort of leviathan of knowledge that me and Johnny have on guitarists, there's a couple I know nothing about, quite frankly.
Well,
quite frankly. So I just wanted to introduce our guest, Travis Goeres, who's also kind of more than just a friend of the pod. He's kind of our like tech Discord manager, business manager.
Yeah.
And also has made all of the artwork for the recent kind of... Are you using AI for that, Travis?
No, there's just a simple app that...
Pretty loud there, hey man.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, fuck off.
Fuck off.
No, I use an app for it. I had the idea and Googled it, found an app. It did it quite quickly, and then I just Photoshopped the rest.
You didn't build the app yourself. Okay.
No, I don't have that. There's moments in the podcast where James has alluded that I have the tech savvy of a young genius, but I've never done any of those things. But I'll allow everyone who listens to think that.
I mean, you do run the Discord.
Yeah. That's true.
Not only do you do the graphic Street Fighter style, is it more Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, would you say?
No, it is more of Street Fighter.
Two Turbo or?
No, just 2. Like the original, the second one, Street Fighter 2
kind of
on SNES.
Arcade edition. Yeah.
SNES, Super Famicom.
Yeah.
Sega. Oh no, what was the Capcom?
Come on,
Capcom.
Dude. That's like heavy metal versus classic rock. It's the whole opposite side.
No, I know that, but the SNES. But I was trying to think of what this sound was at the start of Street. It was like doodly.
Want me to pull it up?
And then it said Capcom.
Let's pull it up right now. Could be too loud. You guys can talk amongst yourselves.
This looks really nice.
That's the Ken stage.
This feels like a different game.
I don't remember this.
It does. That feels like the first one.
Can you play Ken stage Street Fighter music? Ken stage.
Let's do Street Fighter 2 Turbo intro first. We're going to do that.
Okay.
This is just an ad, so we're not going to... I need to get Firefox if we're going to be doing this.
I love this. This episode's awesome. It's one of my faves so far. Also, don't remember this. Weirdly.
This is Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the arcade. Street Fighter 2 Turbo. This is like an 11-minute video, though.
Can I just... Here we go. Stage or what? That's it.
There we go.
That's it.
Nice. And you want Ken's level quick before we get into this?
Yeah, Ken's level, yeah.
Street Fighter 2, Ken's level music.
Ken stage, yeah.
Yeah, stage.
Yeah.
His theme.
Yeah. Love this. So good.
It's good, yeah. That's a good song.
Kind of new wave. It's a bit, yeah.
Well, yeah. Jan
Take
Hammer.
On Me, Aha kind of vibe.
Yeah, OMD as well. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
Travis Goeres, not only do you do the graphic design mostly for our show, my young bride does some as well, and James and I obviously do, but you created, I believe you pushed to create the Discord. James knew what Discord was as well. I did not. And you've sort of cultivated the community on there as if it was a seedling. You have been the one there watering it and letting it grow.
What a kind and obtuse, version of just texting back and forth and being like, me and James, we don't know what this Discord thing is.
Yeah.
And
well, we did. There were about 20 texts between me and James that said this. I'll do some research and figure out what Discord is, and then we'll get it going. You know.
Well, you guys, there was a message in the thing that I know James read that was asking, and I think it'd be a really cool thing for the final two. Would be a live Discord pod.
Yeah,
because they have in the sidebar. There's
an ability.
You can do that, and that'd be really cool.
We should just start doing it live every time.
That would be great too, because everyone would be able to add everything to it, and there'd be a lot more engagement, which would be good for the Discord.
So what this originally we were going to do here is rank Duane Allman and who was it?
Eddie Van Halen.
So instead, I think we should just kind of pivot right into kind of like a business meeting, kind of ideas to grow the pod. You said this is not reading very obtuse right now, Travis. You've kind of you've come in hot with a couple of ideas. Maybe that Ken's theme got you kind of fired up.
No, I come in hot after every pod and send Johnny a billion texts.
You send him kind of a sheet, kind of a reaction sheet from a business perspective.
Always a business perspective. That's how I see everything.
Yep.
There's got to be a way to make money out of this.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't have a lot of the programs he uses to make the spreadsheets and
so you never read them.
So I can't open them.
No.
I don't have the apps. So
no.
The numbers are good though, guys. The numbers are good.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, it all makes sense. It's all streamlined. I think that with couple little tweaks.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do right now. One of the big ones is adding a teaser to
I actually was really into that.
nice.
Yeah.
I almost, like, when I saw that the other day, when I got the notification on Spotify and it was just 10 minutes, I was
So you get a notification. If you follow, you get a notification.
No, it's just like a little green dot beside like all the
Interesting.
things that you listen to.
See, we don't know anything about this. Johnny doesn't even refuses to talk about Spotify.
I'm not on.
Yeah.
You mean Sauron?
Well, I realized that when I sent him a playlist yesterday that he doesn't have, because he was like,
Well, no,
oh,
I do. It's free. Yeah, I just have the free version now.
Shuffle version.
okay. Because you were asking me like what songs were on it, and I was just kind of like, well, look at it.
Okay,
I changed it though.
So that's actually, like, all joking aside, the community on Discord is really lovely, and there's a lot of it's really fun sometimes when I go on there just to see people getting to know each other and meeting. But you've taken it one step further, Travis, because James and I were talking about making the ultimate classic rock playlist on Spotify.
Well, we need
and
to
like,
do that.
and then talking in between and like monetizing it and stuff. But then what you went and did was you made a playlist called Pop Traditionalists that is not only all the heritage revivalism music that we speak about on the pod, but also all the music that guests of the pod have made and that James and I have made, and people who just listen to the show who have sent in. And you know, because we are all a community. And I think that was a really nice thing you did, and it's a cool playlist.
Well, I've listened to, like, anytime someone posts on the Discord, I'll listen to it on the way to work or on the way back, and I'm genuinely into
Showing off that you have a job there.
Well, I gotta throw that in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Just grinding.
You're talking to me and Johnny here.
This
Bit
is
of
your
a
job.
humble brag.
Well, yeah, on the way to work.
Way to work. Humble brag. Yeah. it's
Johnny's
true.
like, I don't remember the last time I uttered
sounds
those
good.
words.
That sounds
I actually
good.
finished your guys' last pod on the way back from work.
Yeah.
So this is kind of behind the looking glass kind of moment for me. It's pretty surreal, guys.
Subtle
let's-
brag that you get off work at 1 p.m. too. You must have a good job.
Well, I make my own. Oh, well, here
got
this
his
is
own
actually a humble
business
break.
now.
I make my own schedule.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're, as a hairdresser to the stars. You've done any famous people's hair? Any kind of bluesy people?
biggest
Johnny Payne.
no, yeah, Johnny Payne,
Yeah.
James Bull,
And me. You've done me too. Yeah.
yeah, back in the day. Real picky. No,
I was a bit picky. I am a bit picky with my hair. It's admittedly, I've never had short hair, so it has. I mean, you wouldn't know it by watching me on the podcast right now because I've just been out. I've just got out of the shower, But I
It's a
hear
great
that Gen
head of
Z
hair.
people just want the truth,
Yeah.
and that's mostly who's listening to our podcast for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Or
not
watching it
18-year-olds.
for sure.
I think the biggest person was Shia LaBeouf.
Oh yeah, problematic guy.
Yeah. No, he was super intense.
He's a deacon now. I think he's just been. He's a Catholic. He's gonna join the diocese.
I think when you get canceled that hard, you kind of have to find God. That's
Yeah,
really the
well,
only
Andrew
way
Tate.
out.
I was reading. I actually don't know anything about him other than the fact apparently now he's converted to Islam because he's
Like Shia has.
No, he's a Catholic. He's gone the Catholic route.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got cancelled pretty hard. Yeah. So how was his hair
I need
though?
a haircut really bad, man.
You do?
Like it's been I was gonna get one from you before Christmas, but then or around Halloween, but then
Yeah,
you had
the
a
power went
power
out.
outage, and
Wow.
I couldn't go. And let's just say I haven't had a cut since, and I got to get over there.
We need
real
to talk.
soon. Yeah, we need
It
to
could
talk,
it could have been worse though. My last guy was stuck with a half dunner,
Okay.
and I had to go back the next morning and finish it off.
Can we talk a little bit about before we talk about music because we are going to really need your help with Duane Allman, and we're doing the new ranking route, right? We're doing it the three score
judges.
like three
Get
judges.
your paper. Get your pieces of paper out.
Oh,
guys.
I've got it.
I got it out.
Yeah.
Well, I got my phone.
Have you ever, because
an app
people
for
like
that
this
or
kind of stuff. They like it's kind of like Charlie Rose. Have you ever stopped mid cut and been like, you got to go. I'm not doing the rest of your hair.
No, I have a pretty strict rule where regardless of how much I dislike someone, I'll usually end up doing a better job and then hope that they give me a compliment. So afterwards I can say, that's too bad. Good luck
Right.
finding someone else.
You got a system in place.
Wow, it's savage, dude.
A revenge system
Yeah.
in place.
Best haircut they ever have, and they're like, "Wow, can't wait to come back in." Yeah, you know what? I can, because you're never coming back.
Nice.
But
That's how it
to
works.
soften it, I'll do it for free.
Oh, okay. So really complicated sort
Wow.
of kind
Burn,
of psychological.
reverse burn.
Yeah, like a
Kind of a
psychological
reverse
thriller.
burn, yeah.
Yeah.
They leave just not knowing which way is up and which way is down.
It's usually it's wild because like if you go at it aggressively, you're just going to get into a huge argument. But if you do something slightly nice for them, there's not really much they can do. But they usually do leave like a bad review or something like that.
It's
Well,
like a key.
there
It's
you
almost like a
have it.
Key and Peele sketch or something like that, where they're like that one where they hatch the plan to rob the bank by just working there for like 40 years and making money. Like the bank pays them, and then they retire.
Got their ass, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, I don't know anything about Duane Allman, really. I don't know much about Eddie Van Halen. That's what we got you on for, Travis. You feeling confident?
Yeah, somewhat.
I was joking. I was laughing to myself this morning, thinking about how I don't know anything about any of them or ever listened to them, and thinking that it's really funny that, and James, I know you're going to say this is kind of like a pitchforkian thing to say, that we don't even really talk about any of the music I actually listened to on this show ever. Like, I was thinking about it, like, you know, like I threw on like a Randy Newman record this morning and like Leonard Cohen, but
They're
then like
adjacent. They come in. They're kind of adjacent characters within the rock and roll universe of Iwall.
it's true, but like it just, and I was like, I actually love that.
That is
though,
a
'cause
super
it
pitchforkian
keeps
take
things
too.
spicy. The fact that I don't know anything about Eddie Van Halen and we do like multiple shows about
But you
him, know
only
what I mean?
get to Randy Newman through the conduit of like the Beach Boys or something.
We're
You don't-
working our way there. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get there, you know, like
true.
without that. I mean, I listen to Big Thief, and we're not going to talk about them, are we?
That's
So-
true. Well, yeah, I mean, that's true. Like you're the same. Like Billy Bragg and these characters, like even Chilton and Big Star. Like, but I guess we would just be the Joker men if we like talked about that stuff.
No, I'm not sure what they talk about. I think they just talk about Lou Reed and Bob Dylan.
and Bob Dylan.
But it's like unique. It's like it's 80s era Bob Dylan. I think it's like Joker Man era. So it's like their
Well,
hot
they're going to
take
have to
was-
start working their way back through the 70s eventually.
I've heard that his stuff in the 60s is pretty good. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Personally,
I always thought you guys were just waiting until the stuff that you really like is classic.
that too.
Right. Yeah.
It's also like we'll get there, you know. I was thinking we could do an episode on like Clapton's relationship with J.J. Cale, and it's probably like they probably really liked each other.
Well, yeah, because
Oh, they did. They made
JJ drugs.
Well, there's that element of it, but
they made-
presumably they were drug buddies
They
too.
made an album together
Yeah, you know, I know
from
he.
here to Tulsa or something like that.
I mean, we'll get
So,
into that with Duane, but
Take it down to Tulsa, something like that.
Nothing like capitalism to convince someone who actually wrote the songs to be thankful for the person who stole them.
it's true. Yeah,
He
I
even
know.
did one with BB King. Same kind of thing.
Riding with the King.
Riding with the
the
King, where
album.
BB's like, I guess I'll do this with this guy.
I mean,
like,
not to
make-
dwell on the fact that Clapton killed all of the great blues guitarists of his generation, but like if you needed more of a Zodiac killer kind of sign than him in a car with BB
Yeah.
King, I mean, come on.
There you go. How did
It was-
BB King
it was-
die?
Clapton.
Yeah.
Cholesterol.
So, yeah.
Well, it begins with C.
Yeah.
Similar word.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so yeah, more my point was just that, you know, I think a lot of people they hear the show and they're like, like, you know, when they hear us talk about some of these guitar players, and I'm like, I'll be straight up with you. I've never listened to some of these people. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say.
Two of
So-
BB King's daughters allege that King was deliberately poisoned.
Oh,
Wow.
actually?
Yeah.
You just Google BB King conspiracy.
No, I didn't. It's on his Wikipedia. It says he had health problems and he died in his sleep from vascular dementia. He had, which is a stroke, I think, kind of. But two of his daughters allege, much like Stevie Ray alleges about Jimi Hendrix, that there was foul play. So
Right.
Well, isn't that like the CIA go-to is having a stroke when you sleep so they don't know that it's actually murder?
It sounds very Watergatey, kind of that era. I actually watched a good one last night. Still of the Night. It was a good movie. Ray Scheider and Meryl Streep, early 80s thriller set in an antiques community. Like an antique house. Just if anyone's interested, that's what I did.
Did I mention that I watched The Sum of All Fears on
You
New
did,
Year's
yeah.
Day?
But you didn't tell me what happened.
I watched the whole movie. It's really quite something. The nuclear bomb goes off in America. That's what it's about. Somebody actually nukes the states, and it
Like
and then
Armageddon style? Or?
It's like the Super Bowl, dude. Somebody gets a warhead into the Super Bowl, and it goes off, and it's kind of they're on the verge of total annihilation of the whole.
Who
human
sorts
race.
it out?
Ben Affleck.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I actually watched a movie called Desert Blue with Casey Affleck yesterday. Probably
Nice.
the worst movie I've ever seen. In terms of the cast was like insane. It was Kate Hudson, Christina Ricci, Casey Affleck. There's more, all as like teenagers in the desert, almost like my own private Idaho kind of like. And whoever had written the script, the guy who had written the script was called Morgan J. Freeman.
That's Morgan Freeman was taken.
Yeah, so he was like,
guild.
I was thinking, it's so bad, it really, really poor movie, and like it's amazing to watch actors of that capability be put into such a bad movie, and that it felt like no one had considered to read the script or something. And then I was like, if you do have the confidence to call yourself Morgan J. Freeman and assume that that's acceptable and not going to be like confused with Morgan Freeman, you probably have the confidence to write a script that bad and just be like, it's the best script I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
Well,
anyway.
it could be one of those ones where the agent sells it as a Morgan Freeman script and then signs everyone on based off the last person.
Yeah,
who signed on.
that's actually a good point. It could have been that.
Including
Anyway.
Morgan Freeman. He's like, I'll act in this. I wrote it. And then
Yeah,
Have you guys
he-
seen the conspiracies that Morgan Freeman is just Jimi Hendrix?
No,
Oh, yeah,
I haven't. I mean, maybe that's what Stevie Ray Vaughan was getting at.
Yeah. I watched Oppenheimer too.
Okay, how was that?
Trying
for
to,
you?
because I know Christopher Nolan plays a big part in our podcast.
So you're kind of in an American nuke kind of era.
Exactly.
yeah.
Pretty much exclusively just
Warheads.
yeah.
Well, they say it's easier to imagine the world than the end of capitalism.
yeah.
so-
Casey Affleck's in that too.
Yeah, he's in I'm Still Here, too. He got away with
Yeah,
some
Matt
allegations.
Damon's in
didn't
it,
he?
too.
They're all in it.
I haven't figured out how it relates to our show yet, but I'll get there.
You know what, though? I'd like to talk about the hangability of Duane Allman's tone right now.
Okay.
Let's get ranking.
I love a lot of people reaching out and talking about the edge you're bringing to these recent rankings, James. And I just want to say I'm in full support.
talking with a dotted delay on my voice.
I think it's the boxing kind of UFC element to it.
Right.
Is like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, if it's boxing, is it just EVH against Duane, or is it just talking about how hangable his playing is?
No. It's their we all have to score it 10-8, 10-9, 10-7.
We score it separately.
Separately,
Yeah.
and then somehow at the end, I'm not doing it. Travis, you've got programs.
No,
You
at the
can-
end, it's simple. We all add up our own score.
Oh, okay.
There's no dividing. There's
That
no
doesn't
division.
make it any easier for me.
There's
but
no
okay.
division. There's no dividing. We add them up and we say one by one who won. I'll say first who won my score, and you might have a different one. We don't have to agree necessarily.
Yeah, but can I just say that I'd like us all to say our score
Yeah,
for each category? 'Cause it's
100%.
more entertaining, I think, to listen to.
Yeah, I do too. And also, I want to bring in one other thing. I already put it on the Discord. It feels important to bring it up. Let me just find it. World Guitar Championships here. My brother-in-law, who's been featuring a lot on this podcast recently with his great ideas. He's a great man. One of my favorite people in the world. One of the funniest men I know. He was thinking a lot about this kind of boxing style judging we're doing for the last 16 here. So he got kind of deep diving into like how boxing is scored. And there is a way for points to be deducted for breaking the rules. So in addition to the above, like the referee, in this case us, can instruct all the judges, I mean, we're kind of the referee and the judge here. It's a bit of a church and state situation. To deduct a point from a fighter in any given round, so I'm thinking that's a guitarist. They will do so if a fighter has done something to break the rules, such as an intentional foul, like a low blow, for example.
Kidney shot.
I'm thinking like Clapton not giving J.J. Cale credit for his note choice might, things like that might kind of come into play.
Right.
Biting someone's ear, for example. Tyson. Killing Duane Allman. I mean, I think there's going to be some...
We're just talking about Clapton.
Yeah, well, he didn't bite. He didn't bite Evander Holyfield's ear.
Right. Sorry.
Anyway.
I hear you.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. So I want to bring low blows in as an idea.
Yeah.
Not to be confused by Blow by Blow by Jeff Beck.
Yeah. Okay. I know what you're saying.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. Like, in terms of, like, if we were, this is just an example, not for guitar. If we were ranking Michael Jackson,
right,
it would be a low blow for business acumen that he took the Beatles.
That's a nice one, actually. Yeah, it's not considered.
It's a businessy decision, but it's kind of a low blow.
Sleazy move.
He was friends with Paul,
It's not clean.
It's not clean.
It's not a clean hit. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
Paul gave him the idea.
Yeah,
it's really weird. He really did.
Yeah.
Duane Allman, hangability, tone. How do we feel about him, Travis?
Well, he's my guy. So I scored it 10-9 for Allman.
You scored already? This guy's already pre-scoring here?
You pre-ranked?
No, I just put it
right now.
That's what I thought we were doing. But
you're right.
Like, I think that both of them aren't very hangable. Like, when you're listening to the Allman Brothers, it's not really like you're not just like hanging out, like you're having a beer, you're at the bar. It's more of like a roadhouse scene as opposed to like a house party.
Yeah, we're talking like truck stop versus Sunset Strip, basically.
Yeah.
And I know where I stand on that one. I know which one's easier to be in. Personally.
Truck stop or versus like you're in your garage in the 80s just kind of like working on your motorbike.
That's a cool vibe, though. Like
on your own, working out, maybe lifting
working
weights
out
in your own garage.
Yeah, let's give him credit where credit's due. Like if you go into like a bike shop, I'm sure they're playing some Van Halen. Yeah.
Like there's like a calendar on the wall of like a kind of a buxom woman in the 80s.
It's boozy. Both hangs are pretty boozy.
But you're kind of hanging on your own listening to Van Halen, like lifting weights, working on your car.
Erica on our Discord, one of our most active, one of our favorite patrons, agreed with me on the Jimi Hendrix thing, and I think that not many people actually listen to him. And she expressed it very succinctly. It's true that people don't listen to him, and I think this might be true a little bit of a lot of these guitarists. You mostly listen to him for educational purposes.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah,
I just saw that. That's very good.
Yeah, it really got me actually.
I can't lie. It's what I listen to when I practice. So
exactly. You don't throw that on in your barber shop, buddy.
I wouldn't listen.
I do.
You throw on Van Halen?
Oh God, no. Allman Brothers.
I've scored it 10-9. Duane.
So you think that Duane just kind of, it's just a little bit more of an easy hang?
10-8's like a beating.
Yeah, no,
I was researching this a little bit. Like
I think it's just more nuanced. Like it's chiller. It's easier to listen to. It's easier to zone out.
Yeah.
When you're vibing, it doesn't really stick out. But the ones that do, they really stick out. But for the most part, it's pretty easy to vibe with.
I agree.
His playing is really vibey. The slide stuff, it's bluesy, it's roadhousey, it's fun.
How do you feel about a low blow being the overuse of pedals? Like when it comes to like technical.
When we get to technical?
Just in general.
For Eddie Van Halen?
Well, no, Johnny's talked a lot about sustain being like a big, an unspoken issue in this competition.
Well, I just think call it a low blow, call it what you want, but I think it does affect your technical score.
Performance enhancing.
Exactly. It's true, yeah. Your live performance
wouldn't pass a drugs test.
Yeah.
I don't think Eddie uses that many pedals.
Oh, he's got some sustain going there, buddy.
Like his original setup was just a 5-watt amp plugged into the main speakers. Like when he was when Gene Simmons found him, he just had like a little 5-watt that was
found him on the strip.
You know why he used that little amp, Travis?
Because the distortion.
Jimmy
'Cause
Page.
if you turn it up loud enough with the distortion, you get that baby singing for 5 minutes on one note.
Go for a bath and come back.
You think you
It's
could play Eruption without that kind of sustain?
No.
Good luck. Good luck.
sustained. Okay, let's move on to technical ability.
I mean, either way, I'm giving this one to Eddie just because he's all technical. Like, the guy's like a, you know. You know what? I was just about to say an F1. This is kind of the thing. This is like what doing this podcast is like when we're ranking these guys. It's like I would normally be like watching like golf on a Sunday, but you guys got me like talking NASCAR in here. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing. So yeah, he's kind of like, he's all technical.
One of the issues I foresee affecting Duane Allman at times during this, positively and negatively, is that he didn't live very long. So, like, we didn't get to see him produce, like, an array of technique. A lot of people say he would have gone into the jam and jazz world.
Eddie.
But that's
No, Duane.
Duane.
That's where he was. It was like funk, soul, blues, like jazz elements to it. But I think that it was like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like it's judging like neoclassical shred music with like a blues soul guitarist.
That didn't work in my brain that when I put that all together.
I never heard much jazz from them.
In Duane?
Yeah, he plays some jazz.
I think there's elements to it.
Okay.
Can you imagine Eddie Van Halen playing jazz?
That made more sense to me, a lot more, in a way. I could see him just kind of being like, for a laugh. Like, there's probably a video out there of him playing, with Miles Davis or something. I don't know. I'm sure some of those jazz guys in the 80s tried to get Eddie out, get him up there.
Yeah.
I would think. But
he was too busy with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Doing it for free.
I know. Maybe a low blow business-wise there that he didn't take the money.
Yeah.
That's not really a low blow, though.
Take the money and run. Doesn't give me... I don't need a second opportunity to play that song by David Crosby and Graham Nash.
I think that they're both pretty technical, but Eddie, like, I think he's like the most technical, kind of just in terms of gizmos and gadgets and bells and whistles and things like that. Like, it's all technical. So I'm going to go 10-9 for Eddie, personally.
I did 10-8 for Eddie.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Me too.
Like, because it's technical, so.
So there,
Yeah.
that's that.
Yeah.
None more blues. None more black.
Natural ability.
It's very complicated with Eddie Van Halen, isn't it? Because it seems to be so easy for him.
Again, we've been down this road. I would like to see him with a nylon string classical guitar play any of this stuff,
But he like spent most of his childhood just practicing. Alex, his brother, would talk about that, where he was more of a partier, and Eddie was just like, nope, straight up, just stay at home all night, play guitar.
Scales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that video of him where he explains how he figured out how to do the hammer-on tapping thing. Like, he kind of invented that, and like it seems like it was like kind of a bit of a cheat code way of like going to a cheat code approach to guitar, I would say. Whereas Duane's down at Muscle Shoals, isn't he? He's kind of like he's right in the kind of soul wheelhouse. He seems like a gentleman. A mellow guy, sharing the stage with other guitarists. It's all about feel, playing off each other. All that stuff's pretty natural.
I'm watching a video of Eddie Van Halen playing an acoustic guitar solo here.
How is it? Pretty good.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, yeah, he does. There's a Spanish guitar solo, or like
Plugged
the
in,
intro
though.
Spanish Fly, which is quite good.
I think he's pretty good.
Do you think that Duane Allman, here's a sort of larger question in general, do you think Duane Allman's status as a quote-unquote top-tier guitarist is benefited by him surrounding himself or being, being able to play with and play off other greats like Dickie Betts and Eric Clapton? Like,
No, I think like
No.
there's a lot of quotes from Dickie and Barry Oakley and other members of the band that were very adamant that he was always the leader of the band, that he
Right.
pushed them, that he made them practice as much as they did, that he was the driving force. And even when he was in Muscle Shoals, like you said before, he was very instrumental in where the song would go when he was a part of it.
Right.
Yeah, can you correct me if I'm wrong? But he also played on a lot of sessions for like people, Aretha and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so they were in the West Coast. I don't remember where they were, but they had a record contract and he escaped it. So Greg finished off the requirements from it and he snuck over to Muscle Shoals when he was like 17 or 18. And
Right.
he played on so many different things. But yeah, a lot of soul records.
That's
How
going to
old was
give
he when
you.
he
That's
died?
going to give you the. He was 24 or something, wasn't he? So young.
24 or something. Good God.
I mean, that's going to give you the edge if you were kind of hanging around Muscle Shoals. You know?
Yeah.
I'm going 10-9, Duane. Sorry. I love being
agrees
able to judge it myself. We don't have
Yeah.
to argue about it. Just let the numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I feel good about it, but I think he might, based on just like, I mean, maybe this is slightly, we all rank based on it's objective, but it's an element of subjectivity that comes into it. I think it might be a 10-8 for me.
Duane. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm being sparing with my 10-8s here.
Yeah, that's
Got to
fair.
be like a really like a good shot, a good right hook connect or something,
There's something about the way in which he plays blues music with a jazzy style and with a bit of an R&B jazzy style that just feels kind of,
I guess so. Yeah. I guess,
a little bit more heart in
it.
it,
I think a good example of that is in memory of Elizabeth Reed.
Well,
People
that's the
love that
best one,
solo.
isn't it?
Oh, like
Yeah.
It's funny when I asked you this morning to send me some Duane Allman music. I can say that I did know all of those ones that you sent me. So I was glad at least that I could. That In Memory of Elizabeth Reed is considered one of the top.
I just
Yeah.
sent Whipping Post from Fillmore because I knew that the 20-minute solo would annoy you.
I know it well. I like the Phil. I know that one. Yeah,
It's
I do
great.
know
It's
it.
one of my favorites.
Bleecker is, Alex Bleecker.
Whipping
I mean,
Post.
Bleecker, I noticed that Alex, friend of the pod and many times guest, is doing a thing where he'll cover a song for you.
Yeah, he's been. Doing
I was
that for
thinking
some
we
time,
should
yeah.
figure out what the longest Grateful Dead song is and ask him to cover it. There's probably like a 50-minute long Grateful Dead song, like on one of those records. To be like, that's
Get
what
him
we
to
want.
cover it
I'll pay
solo.
you to do it.
Solo.
Yeah.
Doing, yeah. Overdubbing. This
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. Look, Duane Allman's hanging out with like Wilson Pickett and stuff. He's down there, Clarence Carr. I mean, that's pretty soulful, if we're talking soul natural. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Live performance is the next category.
Live?
Yeah.
Well, Duane, the band literally made their biggest album
Is a live record.
was live at Fillmore. That's what put them on the map.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Van Halen has any live albums, but
The fact that Duane Allman is jam music adjacent is a huge advantage in this category. That now, even to this day, fans of Phish, Grateful Dead, Spin Doctors, etc., will talk about the Allman Brothers as being in the jam canon, right? And this music is all live music. So I think that a lot of that, like you say, is based on that live record. Yeah, I agree. I also I think Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, he did a lot of jumping around and running around and stuff, though, right? He's pretty hyped up performance-wise.
yeah, it was cool visually, but I've never listened to it.
Yeah, this is the problem, you see. And I don't think anyone will disagree who listens to our show, because this is the toppling of the totems you've been speaking of, James.
Well, I'm looking at Live Without a Net, the Van Halen concert.
Oh, right. Yeah.
This is first was when Sammy Hagar's involved, and people are saying that the solo interruption is one of the greatest things any ever recorded live.
Really? Should we listen to it right now, like that Prince?
No,
All
it's
My Guitar
13
Gently
minutes
Weep?
long. It's like
Yeah, but
13 minutes long.
maybe out of context, like the Bleecker thing, it'll sound really bad.
Yeah. Okay,
Let's hear it.
well, no, this is, yeah, I mean, I can try and...
Put it in the middle anywhere. He'll be soloing, trust me.
Okay, let me just... for some reason, I need to go... Okay, Ken from Street Fighter's up here, so I need to get rid of him.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look here.
I chose Wix.
No,
for
this woman chooses Wix for her
so
business.
the-
I'll probably get rid of that, but that's an ad there we're listening to.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I'm not even sure that that's a guitar.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's like we talk about, it crosses that line where good becomes bad.
I agree.
Okay,
I think if you were there, it'd be exciting, but
okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
to
This
listen
is
to, it's-
minute 3. I'm gonna go to
Yeah,
minute 7. Still going.
It's more like you're seeing like a kind of a classical pianist or
Here's
something like
minute 10.
I think even if you were there at this point, you might be getting a little bit like, all right, close the deal.
By
buddy.
minute 13, he's sat down.
Even he's tired.
Yeah, it's making me like it, making his score go down for me there.
I know.
could we try whipping post solo just for?
Oh, that's good. 20 minutes long too. Does Duane do the whole solo?
No,
No, they must trade off.
They go back and forth, but
Yeah.
I do believe he's usually the first.
Usually the first. Okay.
Yeah, we can do that.
Whipping
There's
post
a
live
5-minute
at the
long
Fillmore
version here
East.
on the Allman. Okay,
No, we want the live version. That's the...
live. Okay, here we go. This is the song. Blues.
I like the guitar harmony stuff a lot.
Yeah,
It's
of
cool.
course. You can't really do that alone, except for that one guy I just found on the internet who seems to be able to do it. Proggy, yeah, jammy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it always had more of a proggy feel to me than, like, jazzy, but...
It sounds fucking wicked.
I know.
Is this
is
round
sick.
4? Is this round 4 of this is the 4th category?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard. They can't tie, can they really? Around.
This is all Thrill of Risk, baby.
This is you, and this is kind of the Neil school, but with like ability, you know?
Yeah. And the super funky band.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I love that. I forgot. I got to get... Okay, well, I'm convinced. I'll go 10-9. I'm not going 10-8 live, but against Eddie, but...
yeah.
That
'cause
eruption thing was unlistenable, man. That's hangability like 2 for me, that stuff. That's you clear out a party, you throw that on.
that's going to Patrick's basement and listening to him fucking
Yeah,
play
that's
guitar
a different
for 20
kind of
minutes.
party. That's a different kind of... Like I say, you're alone in your garage with like some dumbbells.
with an
and
8
you're
ball and some dumbbells.
Exactly. Alone. Yeah. So yeah, 10-9 for me, for Duane Allman. That was sick sounding.
Once it gets to the peak though, that's the best part.
Usually
Like, if
is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Note choice. Yeah.
I mean, it's. I don't know if Van Halen's
hell are we
concerned too
doing?
much about his notes, you know?
Well, he's
It's more
playing
about,
all of them.
He's playing all of them at speed,
of them,
high
yeah.
speed.
Yeah. It's more
Just
about
because you know all the notes doesn't mean they're the right ones, you know? Sometimes it's better to just kind of, it's not really like melodic, you know? There's no phrasing really there.
No,
it's just
the phrasing,
it's pyrotechnics.
I noticed the phrasing on that Duane Allman solo just then, and I thought it was cool. Like less notes, he was doing like,
and you know he's going to start playing. You know he's got the speed in his locker if he needs to go there. He's got riffs, major riffs.
I've been meaning to say this, actually,
okay.
In terms of lead guitar. I really, really like solos when the player does a lot with 2 or 3 notes.
Right.
When they're able to do a lot with just 2, 3, 4 notes and dance around like Neil does a lot. I heard Duane doing it there. I always think that's really cool. Mm-hmm. I don't like too many notes. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm going to go as far as to say no one does.
Yeah.
That's more educational dexterity style.
Yeah.
You know?
It like Do It Again, Steely Dan solo. Yeah. Like there's obviously a lot of notes in that, but there's a lot of parts in it where
the sitar
phrasing
stuff.
Bam, banum, 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 banum,
jazz,
like that's and it's like vamping rhythmically because you see what happens then if you play less, you get more rhythmic. You're like, okay, if I'm gonna play the 2 or 3 same notes, I got to change up the rhythm of them, the phrasing of them, and then it gets funky and then it gets percussive. Right. And that's what I like. Then you're getting into an interesting solo for me versus like, oh, I'm just going to just dance around. Like the exact same speed and phrasing, but like a ton of notes. It's boring.
It's not about notes then.
Yeah, it's more about notes then if you're not doing that.
If you don't have many and you use them effectively.
Yeah. That's why I always like Buddy Guy. He'd do like one note. And then just like wait a bit and hit the same one. Yeah. Go around, have a bite. Yeah.
I think that's kind of where it begins and ends for me. Is phrasing should be a note choice.
Yeah, it's not just about notes. No. And a lot of players think it is, you know?
That's technical speed stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas note choice to me, sometimes less notes is really good.
You know what? Sometimes no notes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Just no notes.
Exactly. Yeah.
A Miles Davis style approach.
Bit of space there.
An In a Silent Way style.
So what? Yeah.
You know? Okay. Well, I've got my score.
Yeah.
I think Duane takes it for me when it comes to notes, a.k.a. riffs, a.k.a. phrasing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going 10-8 on note choice because I think Van Halen gets the whole thing wrong. Too many notes, no consideration of note choice.
He's not considering the notes?
Not even thinking about the notes. He's just thinking, how do I get the most squeezed into this 8-bar section?
Yeah. Different scales.
Yeah.
He knows all the notes.
Hyper-tech is bad note choice for me, usually. Yeah. Unless you're talking David Gilmour, but that's more like precision than like speed.
Yeah, he's not a quick guitarist.
No.
Okay,
Fashion is next. I'm sorry. I never really liked the Van Halen. I mean, they suffer from kind of a weird era and a weird like time for rock and roll.
Okay. I know we're not meant to consider like although I think we sort of discussed maybe considering facial expressions as part of like the fashion.
Sure. Oh yeah.
His shit-eating grin annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a good guy, right? I don't know anything about him, but playing that level of, you know, speed, kind of like martial arts style guitar whilst just smiling the whole time. Really something about it is dissonant to me.
Cocky, isn't it?
Well, or just like you're not in it. You're not in it. Like everyone who plays guitar, okay, even to the most basic level, like anyone who feels music knows that you kind of lose a bit of control of your face. Like if you're in it, it just happens.
You know what? I don't think he's really listening to the rest of the band.
I don't think he's listening to what he's doing.
I don't think exactly. I think he's completely locked into his own world of his own guitar playing, and like it's like he's like, no, I don't need any of them in the monitors here.
No,
I'm just gonna just do
Give
my
me a
thing.
click.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And you guys just keep up with me, okay?
Yeah.
Whereas I listen to Duane playing, he's listening to the keys, to the drums, bass,
what guitar did he play, Travis?
Les Paul.
Okay. Hot.
He's one of the top Les Paul guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's always considered a top Les Paul guy.
He's got
But that's because
honey.
he wasn't old enough. He died too young to switch to a Jackson.
Yeah, exactly.
In the
Which benefits you sometimes. Not particularly fashionable guy, though, when it comes to it. He was just a player, right? He's not trying.
He had the mutton chops. You like them? You either like them or not.
I'm not a fan, personally, but I have issues with facial hair in general.
I think he's like well dressed for the scene that he's in.
People
You could
do
say the same for Van Halen.
Yeah,
maybe.
people try and do him. People do like kind of copy Duane Allman's look, like, the sort of truck stop aesthetic.
Biker. He looks like a biker. And
And then the
that's
guys
what
that look
killed
like EVH are at Muscle Beach.
Yeah, that's a really weird thing, and Luke's mentioned it a lot. Like, it's best not to think about it too much because you'll never really understand what's going on there.
Yeah.
It's some of the worst clothing of all time, worst guitars of all time.
Exactly.
The worst,
Yeah.
like every adjacent to it, like a Jack Daniels bass guitar.
Yeah.
It's an affront to music.
Red leather.
A lot of red, yeah. A lot of
Red
pleather. I don't even think it's leather.
Exactly. It's pleather.
Yeah.
Silver.
Laser tag.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's kind of music for like children to have fake combat to.
Yeah.
Like laser tag, bowling, 10-pin bowling. It's like that's a business acumen thing. It inculcated British youth culture, that stuff. But I remember you'd go to like parties when you like bowling parties, 10-pin bowling parties, or like laser tag parties when you were like 10 or 11 years old, and that would be the music that was playing. You never heard it otherwise, and it felt dated then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I could, or like paintball. I feel like it's like maybe that's more of a
Zippers,
maybe Allman. No,
A
maybe
lot of
more
zippers.
Allman. Yeah.
Maybe Duane had a lot of zippers too, though, if he's a biker. A lot of those
Tassels.
Tassels. That's more Duane, I think.
Yeah, tassels.
Van Halen, yeah. But it's
No,
sort of
he's
like a
more like
leather jacket with sneakers, which is
I think
weird.
it's just sportswear.
Perm, like puffy hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna give Duane the slight edge here personally.
How many categories are we in here?
Fashion. We've
number-
got 4 categories left.
Okay, this is the 6th one. Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 10-9 Duane in fashion personally, but I'm not really a child of the '80s, so
Well, no, it was good 80s stuff.
there is a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Business.
I mean, Eddie's all business.
You know the way I feel about this, like that. The only way that music succeeds is if it's all business. Like it's like it's almost like it's a tech conference where you're unveiling like a new
Ferrari,
big
like a Countach or
exactly,
something.
and
Yeah.
it's like the curtain comes up and it's like, look at this, and all the investors are like, wow,
And
this
someone's
is great.
shredding.
We can sell this. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah,
It's probably
So-
a pretty high selling signature line as well. Like he's got the phaser
100%.
pedal, he's got the 5150 amps,
The
he's got the
amps.
PV guitars.
Yep.
signature line.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was brought up by Bill from Silverstein on the
Yeah.
Discord, and it's true. We really overlooked the fact that he has like he's an early kind of influencer with guitar. Like he has his own range of
Yeah,
like
he's branded the whole thing.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a clear winner here for me
Yeah.
in terms of business
Yeah,
tone.
that's 10-8 for me.
Yeah.
Innovation.
I mean, this
Wow.
is where, for better or worse, Van
Yeah.
Halen's just kicking into 5th gear, 6th gear, even maybe in the
true.
kind of cars he drives.
It's true. I mean, and to think of a third wave guy
Being able to do that.
being able to just reinvent the wheel a little bit.
Well,
whether
the
you like it or
technology
not.
didn't exist. Who was it that
Yeah.
we were talking about the other day who said that? Jeff Beck. He said the 60s
Yeah.
were a joke because he didn't have the technology available to be able
Well,
to
it
play,
was-
express himself
He
through
was
guitar.
so far ahead.
Yeah.
Of what technology was doing. Yeah.
Strangely, he didn't ever use any of it or change really what he was doing.
I think
Too much.
I think he did to an extent, but yeah, maybe not audibly. or something to us, you know. But to be fair, James, we don't really understand maybe like what someone at his level is doing technically, like, because it's so subtle, you know.
Yeah, and I don't want to let these people go through based on the fact that, like, for a generation upon generation, that's been their kind of argument. It's like, well, you just don't get it.
Yeah, well,
because I fucking get it. I'll tell you what, I get it. I get guitar.
This is interesting too. Is that I saw on the Discord that some people had a good conversation about how perhaps legacy and business acumen shouldn't be included because that brings it back into the Frickian school of ranking.
Right.
It's like legacy is the category that like lets the Frickian approach come back. But here's the thing. If we take away the Frickian categories, of which there aren't very many, then we ourselves become a Frickian way of ranking.
Exactly.
And just the arty people win.
You can't just do that.
We're trying to do the total sum of all our fears here about.
Well, I also think, and are we on legacy right now? Is that what we're at?
We're on innovation.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that Duane Allman's going to do fine in legacy. Like, let's talk about innovation though. Like, Van Halen invented a new way of playing guitar.
I agree.
What did Duane Allman do? Genuine question.
He played slide, but I think there's a lot of blues guys playing slide before that. A lot of them.
He did a bit of jazz with blues.
Fusion. He's one of the
he's an early fusion candidate.
Guys. He's an early fusion guy.
And an early jam pioneer.
Yep. Early jam pioneer. Who else would be an early jam pioneer? Obviously, Dead existed.
Jerry. He's just the Dead.
Neil in a different way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really. He's not really. It's tough because he's not really. I guess Neil definitely has some like innovative ways of playing guitar. Like his acoustic style is super innovative.
I think his electric playing's very innovative.
Yeah.
Name me a song pre Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere album
with a
that has
one-note
like
solo?
a 10-minute solo on it, like a rock album. You know,
maybe Jam. It's Jam, isn't it?
That might be the first like
probably
album.
It's probably a Allman Brothers band record.
I don't know, 67. Like Cowgirl in the Sand's like 10 minutes long. Yeah.
Feels early.
I think so.
69 is the first Allman Brothers.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah.
So Allman Brothers.
Maybe I'm wrong. I got it right here.
Pull it
nice
right
to
out.
be able to reference a hard copy here.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully that's from the year it came out. You know what I mean?
Oh, it turns out it came out 2018. I was wrong. Yeah. Cowgirl in the Sand, 10 minutes and 3 seconds.
Yeah, it came out in 1969, May 1969.
69?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it came out just before they made Deja Vu. They were like getting into touring together in 70 when it's all just that kind of same era.
So I guess Buffalo Springfield, 67.
So is Allman Brothers before Cowgirl in the Sand?
Same year.
It's all happening.
I don't know if the first album doesn't jam out like that of the Allmans, though.
Well,
I don't
Neil
think.
certainly doesn't.
Not 10 minutes.
But
Neil's
like, what are we
doing
talking?
that.
Like Mr. Soul live or something?
No, I'm saying in 69, Cowgirl in the Sand. I don't think the Allman Brothers had a lengthy jam like that out on record shelves.
Not out,
No.
but live.
No, live for sure, but a lot of people were jamming live. I mean, that was jazz and blues and everything. I'm not saying that. I'm saying to be like, I'm openly put like, jamming on a record and stuff like that. I just think that you could consider that a puzzle piece in the origins of jam music, I think. Perhaps. But I don't know. It's pretty psych, too. I guess probably there were some psych bands jamming.
I reckon
like
it was
that.
like some Hendrix and like Quicksilver and stuff that were doing it.
Maybe. Probably. Deep Purple, actually. Machine Head has a couple of really long guitar songs.
This is an exciting bit, though. I like this. Like in terms of like the Pangea effect. Like who broke out first on record with a 10-minute classic rock solo.
Just like I'm just going to play guitar in the studio for a long time, and that's going to be the song.
Yeah.
It's pretty gutsy.
Yeah.
When did Bandit Gypsies with Hendrix come out?
That's live though. Bandit Gypsies
okay.
is a live record. So I'm not technically counting that right now, just because then you can count like a lot of stuff that probably was released as.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Hendrix probably, I'm not sure.
Because like Live Dead would have been around then too, wouldn't it? But we're not counting that. That's like November 1969.
I mean, I guess it all counts, but I'm just saying it was cool of Neil to put out like an album, a collection of songs,
Sure.
like 10 songs, and one of them was like 10 minutes long with a mostly guitar solo.
You're not wrong. I'm interested in this.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Innovation, I'm scoring it 10.
Quicksilver and all those guys is a good point. Maybe they were doing that.
I'm scoring it Innovation, then I'm going to go like, it's probably a 10-8, a 10-9 for me, for Eddie.
It's 10-8, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm going 10-8 as well there.
Okay.
Thrill of Risk is next.
I think me and Luke had a very interesting sort of take on this, that Eddie Van Halen's not risking anything. He can just do it all.
Well,
And
also his sound, it's not risky because that's his sound. People are used to it. The more kind of chaotic and notey it is, the more it's like, oh, he's just doing what he always does. There's no risk involved. Yeah.
No, it's like, it's corporate. That gives him the big, the business acumen tone, score.
It's 10-9 for me, Duane.
Just because he's doing it, like, just because it's complicated doesn't mean it's risky.
Yeah, and if that's
it's like
all
a magic
you do,
trick. If he's practiced, you know what? Like if you're watching guys do magic tricks, they've practiced those sleight of hand tricks over and over again. There's no risk involved.
Yeah. You're not you eventually it doesn't even become, you're not even impressed by the trick.
I don't think he's even thinking about it when he does it. I think he's somewhere else. That's why he's smiling. I think he's just thinking about what he's going to walk in his dog later on that day.
So for the scoring, what's the what happens when you feel that they tie?
They can't tie.
They can't.
We've
I
tied
suppose they
before.
can tie. They
We've
can tie
tied.
10-10 then if it's a tie.
Yeah, 10-10 if it's a tie. Yeah.
Okay.
What you got a tie there, Travis?
I feel like it's a tie. I can't really decide which one because Duane live is so good.
I think Duane's probably risking more the way he's playing.
Legacy is next here. Unfortunately for Duane, this is where the Frickian thing comes in, but
Not in the same way as it used to, though. It doesn't, because his legacy is pretty enshrined in the fact that he died early, because it was all sweet, everything he did. You're talking more about endurance here. Like, Duane Allman's legacy, I think, gets him higher up on these lists than maybe he should at times. Because it's
I agree,
he fucking ruled and died early.
But for whatever reason, Eddie Van Halen, regardless of even the music he made, is just his legacy as a guitar player has like never faltered.
But like, why? This is what we're here. This is what we're here for. It's like,
I see. What
as
you're
a
saying.
guitar player, I get it, but it's like, again, like, what's his legacy? Like wearing sweatpants and playing really fucking quickly?
Yeah.
I don't know. In terms of music, the music it created, the stuff that comes from it.
Yeah, maybe it's time to stop thinking about this a bit in terms of like how just how famous these people are, or like how spoken about they are.
Yeah.
Because we don't want the people who go on the Steve Hoffman forum message boards who just say that Eddie Van Halen's the best guitar player of all time without any reason why. We don't want this to be the opinion that rules this ranking. Right?
He's maybe the quickest of all time.
Yeah.
Or like, the most technically capable guitarist of all time. And that's part of legacy when it comes to guitar playing. But I would say that there's an other side to guitar playing which is much more important than that. And that is the way in which you can emote things through your instrument. The way in which it makes people feel. And it seems like we just threw on that live from Fillmore thing and we just got kind of fired up.
Well, that's what I was just going to say, is that it's worth noting when speaking about legacy that we're sitting here talking about this and none of us are even into it. So what kind of a legacy is that? Like if we can't even admit like that it's good in some way, then that's not a good legacy, you know? To me, his legacy isn't very strong because I don't really care about his guitar playing. But
I'm going to take a stand right now, and I'm going to call it for Duane, based on the fact that he could have cocked it up, but he died early, and we don't know. But his legacy is stronger than Van Halen's in terms of what I feel the guitar is meant to do.
And what he achieved in such a short time. And yet his legacy remains strong, right? Like,
what do you think, Travis?
Unfortunately, I would have to say 10-9 EVH, but
you're saying it against your better judgment here, I think.
You're
You're being the kind of Atticus here who's just saying I have to, toe this line.
I just think that as far as like the discussions go with guitar players, that his name gets brought up more than Duane's. Like my personal interest is obviously like I think Duane is better, but I just think all around, I don't know. Like I think that he would end up on the list more often than Duane would.
I just think here we're getting into a really interesting territory, which is so philosophical, which is somehow guitar playing has got so like technical that it's blinding us from remembering like what a guitar's whole point is, like its purpose as a thing is to sing and to like play and to make you feel something, presumably as an extension of the human voice or something along those lines. It's like,
and you think that factors into legacy? I guess so.
Considering what a guitar is meant to do.
If you're speaking about music, I see what you're saying.
If you're speaking about actual music, as opposed to like
its contribution to music.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's a
subjective.
It gets subjective a little bit. People like different styles of fighter, you know?
Yeah. Also, like Van Halen is kind of a one-trick pony in that, like, no one's doing it now. Nobody's doing that now.
People with speed.
Well, I'll tell you what, James. I am not willing. I am loving this. I'm loving where you're going with this, and we're going to keep exploring it. But I'm not willing quite yet to go all that way. So I'm calling it a tie, though.
Okay.
Which is a big step for me. So let's see what we got here.
Oh, that's everything, hey? Okay, great.
Yeah, hang on here.
Yeah, really hard to add these up, hey?
Yeah.
Should I put on some music while we add it up? Because it seems important. I'm going to put some music on.
Yeah.
Okay, take your time adding it up.
I've got it. I've got my totals here. I figured out a really good way to do it is, like you say, you just go down, and if it's a 9, you go -1, -2, -3, -5 if it's an 8 there. You know what I mean? And then people find this really interesting, I'm sure. Did you see somebody made a great graphic on the Discord, Travis, that just said eye wall with an abacus? It's like a drawing of an abacus, and it said eye wall. It was really cool.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you guys right now, I've scored it. Duane Allman, 95. Eddie Van Halen, 93. Duane's taking it by 2 points here.
I totally added mine up wrong.
Yeah, I'm just taking it really seriously here.
Look at this. This is great to watch.
People add.
Carry the one. Oh, man. I hope everybody listening is see what I'm dealing with here every day.
Okay, I got it.
I'm like Russell Crowe in A Beautiful Mind compared to these two guys.
Hey, it felt really serious to me, this.
Okay, what's yours, James?
I want Travis to go first. You're calling it for Duane Allman?
Yeah, I got it. 95, 93, Duane.
Who are you calling it for, Travis?
It's for Allman, but I don't have the accurate numbers, but it is for Duane.
Well, Duane takes it for me 92, 91.
That's not enough. That's not enough points.
What are you talking about?
Oh, wait, yeah.
How are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, I guess it is.
It can be, of course it's enough
points.
I
guess. How are you so much
yours,
lower
Johnny?
than me? 95, 93.
You do more 10-9s than me, that means. I got a few 10-8s in there on both sides.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
So, but, case closed. Duane takes it.
Yeah, nice.
I think that was a passionate episode. Van Halen's gone.
Good.
I feel good about that.
Me too.
I feel like I can rest easy.
I'm
And
starting
gonna
to see, sorry, James.
No, please.
I just wanted to say that I think I'm starting to see what this tournament's all about now.
Okay.
It's like as we move forward, it's getting, I was like, oh, we're just going to get to the end and it's going to be status quo. But now I'm starting to see that we're actually getting down to the essence of what this whole thing means.
Of what a guitar is.
Yeah, and maybe we're going to surprise ourselves as to who's in the final two.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, well, it was great having you on, Travis. I really appreciate your time and your learned, yeoman-like work you do on the Discord. And we'll be back on Sunday to do another one of these rounds.
Just so you guys know, Duane Allman will be going up against either Eric Clapton or Richard Thompson. So if it is Clapton, boy, oh boy, he might have some revenge up there in rock and roll heaven.
Okay. Peace,
Okay, guys,
everybody.
take it easy.
Take care.
Bye.